Welcome back, rebels, to the Lucky Die in Kino. Previously, Arawn struggles not to shoot someone. Ivoris takes them to his favourite place, and Greff gets a makeover. Finding a safe space at Baskin's place, Ivoris shares his concerns about his visions. Despite all their concerns, they decide to help out Amira and the book in exchange for a potent spell. Now with the book safely on her way, it's time to face Adnalov. Will the book make it to Discora in one piece? What do Kit 4 want with Adnalov? And will Amira give them the information they want on the assembly? I guess we're about to find out. Welcome back to the Lucky Die in Kino.
We left you guys, you were in the kind of like almost in the Earth Dark underneath Sylvana Mine. You have the Tabaxi known as Princess Boo or Amira with you. What do you guys want to do now? The book has been dropped off.
I think we're just heading back, right? We're just gonna get out. Did we have a more intricate plan than that, guys?
I don't think so, but I would like to. Ivoris, she looks back and Ivoris has his shield equipped. So, are you satisfied?
Yeah.
Satisfied enough to give us answers before we leave here?
Do you really think this is the right place to have that kind of conversation? Being that your boss and those rather scary people are upstairs?
No. Well, we have to get you back out. That's actually might be a problem.
I would assume that you have some way of either turning invisible or just something else.
I don't have a way to be invisible.
You don't?
She shakes her head. You guys do know there is another way out of the mines.
Yeah, there was the way that Adnalov left through.
Yeah.
We should probably just take that. We'll leave through the back way that Adnalov used.
Agreed.
Lead on. You guys make your way back up. Can one of you lead the stealth check for me, please? I assume you're going quietly as not to arouse suspicion.
Arawn is good at stealth.
Yeah, I'm not good.
Who has the best stealth?
I guarantee you it's probably Arawn.
The kitten. Amira has the best stealth.
She probably does.
You just open as aptly named Princess Boo. Well, her stealth is 10.
Then maybe she should be the one rolling.
Yeah. I'll make her roll for all of y'all.
Arawn can assist her if you would like.
I'm going to assume that you'll be assisting and keeping the rest of the clunky ones slightly quieter. Yeah. So we'll count that as aid. And she got 25. You guys managed to very, very quietly make your way. The only minor brush that you think you might have with the working level, you guys managed to get through very quietly between Arawn and Amira. You guys, the pair of them managed to quieten down, let's say, Greff's more stompy footfalls, and you guys managed to make your way to where Adnalov had pulled you through. It takes you a little while you guys get to the end of that, and again, you find yourself down that kind of like off in the distance. You can see the dock area where Amira disappeared off to. You guys are out in the open. You're fairly away from the mine. No one really knows where you are. There isn't anyone around that you guys can perceive. It is pretty dark. It's nighttime. Those of you who can't see in the dark are gonna have a problem.
I think Greff is holding on to whatever shoulder he can find. Like, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to turn on a torch, so you guys lead on.
I guess this is goodbye for now?
No.
I think I'd rather see the entire transaction completed before we part ways.
She smiles. And she says, okay. Ask away. Deal is a deal.
What
is your purpose?
I wish I had asked something.
Arawn looks at Ivoris like, we on the same wavelength. Gives like that nod.
How much did you fleece me for?
Greff is definitely looking around trying to pinpoint where people are in the darkness.
I'm going to do Arawn's question because I didn't actually hear Ivoris. She looks in Arawn's direction and she says, my job in the assembly is to make sure that people who need to disappear. Ivoris, what did you ask?
What was the assembly's business with the scroll of Ogma?
The scroll of Ogma is... How best to explain? You are obviously very aware that gods have died.
Very.
Gods are going to keep dying. You kill a god in a very particular way. Two of the material components include the soul of someone who is bound to that god, a righteous person, and a very important relic of theirs. There are many relics of Ogma, don't get me wrong, and there are very many people who are bound to Ogma. We're just trying to get it safe and away from the initiative.
Why? You were trying to keep it safe from them.
Yeah.
Our understanding is that they were trying to keep it safe from you.
She shakes her head. And she says, there's someone inside the initiative who is manipulating them to... There's someone very high on that council who is responsible for the death of that god. Who's responsible for the death of the other gods that are coming. We have a person on the inside who's been asked to be rescued, to be extracted, to tell us who the rest of them are going to be. We only got this name fairly recently, and we're hoping it'll be enough, but I guess we'll find out.
Why is anybody trying to kill gods? What point does that serve other than chaos?
She looks at Greff. She puts her hand out, well aware that he can't see her. Puts her hand out on his shoulder and says, chaos is kind of the point. Do you guys know how the structure of our existence works? I assume she looks into your blank expressions.
Stunned silence.
I'm waiting for Greff's mom's story.
Oh, I can tell you the tree.
I'll tell you what.
Dragon eggs.
I will say Arawn is proficient in religion.
Yeah, you could take a religion check. Greff, I'll actually allow you to take a history check because your mum has told you a bunch of random shit, so sure. Yeah, you guys can take those checks.
Fudge. My history's not good.
Arawn got a 15 religion.
And Greff got something I can't see.
It's an 8.
Okay, I got an 8. Oh, nice.
Also,
Greff, your mum probably hasn't ever told you about how the world exists, except that there are stars in the sky
and magic dragons with wishes.
I'm not propagating this lie. On a 15 religion, you would be aware that that there are the 4 major planes of existence. That there is the physical plane you're currently on, the stalking, where the dead temporarily go, and where all like the kind of weird things like bags of holding, all that good stuff, and plane shifting, all the good stuff. That's where you go. You know that there is fuck my life. There's
Cicero and Bellum.
Cicero, thank you, Cicero. I could never bloody remember that there's Cicero and Bellum. You also know that there is a plane that kind of like encircles those 4 planes, and it's called the Sentinel plane. And you're aware that there are some like basically keystones, some like really big pillars. You think maybe there are 4 or 5 or 6, you can't remember exactly how many, but all the gods make a network between those big pillars, and that's what contains and keeps the laws and reality together.
Okay. So Arawn, thinking on it for a moment, just kind of gives a slight nod. I have a decent understanding of it.
She looks at you and she says, well, imagine those gods are the net, holding all of this together. Imagine if you start taking apart that net.
I imagine there would be quite a few holes.
She nods. Chaos. Things begin to fall apart. Our reality becomes weaker. And for anything that wants to take advantage of that, destroying the gods is a good way to do it. I don't know who in the Kino initiative is doing this. I don't know who they're working for. I don't know what the ultimate thing that is coming or why they're doing any of this. I don't know. But we have a person that thinks they might have the information. A mole we have inside, close to the top level at least. Well, this is everything that I know. I'm not the most top member in my particular assembly, but there are others.
So is the assembly's intention to just prevent or to fix and stabilize?
We're trying our best to prevent what's happening. We don't know all the details of how or what the other components of killing a god involves. We don't know everything right now. This has only been as you'd expect, a fairly recent development.
Why so secretive about it? Why couldn't you have told us this before?
We've been trying. But the Kino initiative has been so corrupted by whoever it is on the council that every time we've tried to open our mouths and speak, we've been shut down. People we've told have been killed. And frankly put, I didn't know if I could trust any of you. You are initiative after all. Now, Greff, I hoped would be on side. That's why I spent so long scoping him out.
I don't want chaos. That's not good for me. I want fights, not brawls.
We're not entirely without blame. We are trying to fix a mistake we've made.
Care
And
to
what
share?
would that be? Arawn gives Greff a look like... Same wavelength.
Greff gives a thumbs up in a completely wrong direction.
The person that's responsible, we think. The assembly helped to put them in there. We thought we were doing the right thing.
Greff just kind of dumbly looks back down and goes like, well, we know it's not Barathar or whatever his name was, because he was talking...
Maracus?
Yeah, him. He was talking about it to Atnalov. Like before the whole... how do I go about this gently? Savras kicking the bucket.
How much gently? There are a few people on the council. The leader of this place, Ennis, is one. I personally don't know the others. I do my part. But I'm a Shavana girl, this is all I know. It's the important things to me. I don't know. As I said, I'm not really that high up. I just do my part.
Well, I can tell you Baracus is a fucking jackass, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe he's playing her too.
Hey, no, that's our boss.
Well, he can go fuck himself. He's not all he's cracked up to be.
So now I have a question for you. What are you guys going to do with this information? Basically, do I need to run? Are you going to give me the courtesy of a head start if you do?
You did us a solid. I see no reason why we should be an enemy. Well, a solid is a generous turn of phrase. You made us do you a favor, and you did us a favor. I think we're quite square right now.
I'm not doing anything else for the people that killed my god. I'm going to get Ednilov out of there, and that's about all I've got.
That's about the same answer I would have. It really depends on what Adnilov says. Now that I have the device, I can hopefully get her out and see what she has to say. Because I imagine after what you've told us, she's probably going to confirm a lot of things.
How about this? If you're on board, get a message to Freedom's Bluff, to an innkeeper. To a goblin innkeeper named something off of the patron list.
Oh, that's so far away.
I know, it's like 30 days by foot.
The world's going to be ended by then.
And 5 days by boat or a teleport.
I was about to say. You're going to Freedom's Bluff?
Yeah, it's where the next operative, the guy who needs busting out, the person who has the details on that, asked if I could probably help. So I'm good at making people disappear. I'm gonna see if I can lend a hand. And if I need to be out of Shilvano, if Adnilov decides that you guys are continuing to work for Kino, I need to be out of here. Freedom's Bluff is a big enough city. I can get lost in there if you decide that not working with me is in your future. I won't hold it against you. I'm asking for a lot on faith.
If what you're saying is true, I'm not doing anything for the initiative anymore.
Well, we'll find out.
You are in a good place. We could use you. I'm not sure how, but we could use you where you are. I don't know.
How about this then? Since there's kind of an issue of trust on both sides. How about you stick roughly around, make it so that there's some way we can contact you, and we'll go talk to Adnilov, get everything she has to say, and regardless of what happens, if it turns out that we're going to be staying with the initiative, then we'll be the honorable ones and give you the head start to disappear, whatever it is. If it turns out that we go a different route and perhaps stay as double agents, or if we end up joining you, again, we'll let you know. It really depends on what she says, because I'm going to be honest, I trust her word more than yours right now. I kind of have a rapport with her, so.
I understand. You must know of the graveyard just outside of Shilvana.
Right.
There's a mausoleum there to the house of Brightstar. If you're going to betray me, or rather you don't want to work with me, then leave some flowers at the grave. No one outside the mausoleum. No one goes there anymore. And if not, then just leave me a note. I'll find it.
Understood.
One more favor.
Well, you're not killing me, so sure.
I need to find that white tabaxi that was in town.
Millhook. She
kind of got a little bit busted after Severus died. She's in hiding. That's all I want to say.
Well, she has got me in quite a situation. I'm gonna need the assembly to do some things. And whether that is by friendly means or by force is really gonna be up to you guys at this point.
I will pass on the message.
Appreciate it.
Perhaps omitting names for now, until we decide where our allegiances lie.
Of course. I won't do anything until I either see the flower or the note. Well, good luck. She takes her hand off of Greff's shoulder. And yeah, she walks out into the darkness. She heads out towards the dock area. That's basically where you lose sight of her. What do you guys want to do now?
I think it would be best we wait an hour or so before we go see Adnalov, try to get the other task force out of there. I don't think they trust us, and quite frankly, I don't like them.
Yeah, I think that's a fine idea. But
Is there any way that we could get Adnalov to meet us somewhere to give her that? So that we didn't have to go back down in there right now.
I don't have any sort of long-range messaging besides the earpieces. I had some ideas, but I haven't really been able to make anything just yet.
wait, are we really buying that? What she said?
Not yet.
Like killing. Like that sounds like a lot of fertilizer talk to me. Like, this is just.
You're the one who trusted her, Greff. Do you not?
I trusted her as a friend, not as a battle-hardened ally for the future of gods and kings and kingdoms. And let's be very honest, the story has now changed to the fucking world. To me, it sounds like a tall tale being sold to suckers.
I mean, we already saw that one god did die.
And the only person we knew about that before it happened was... fuck my brain.
Baracus.
I saw a dragon.
That too.
Yes.
That's...
I feel like she's using current events to manipulate us. Or that's like... She never told me anything about dying. Well, of course, she told me fucking nothing about herself before. But I feel like we're being played for fools.
Quite possibly.
I'll reserve judgment until I hear what Atnalov says, but I'm putting my money on, oh yeah, no, that sounds like a lot of bull hooky. So, yeah. That's what Atnalov sounds, right? My impressions are good, right?
Sure, Greff, sure.
I've been practicing that one.
That was Adolf. I thought that was the other one. Sorry.
I mean, the best I could think of would be I can disguise somebody and have like whoever go in and just give her a message saying to meet us somewhere. But that's the only underhanded way I have of going about things right now.
You can
money
disguise,
goblin.
Just hand her just be in a disguise and hand her the thing.
Money goblin.
What?
It doesn't listen to me.
Surely you can tell it to like switch Atnalov's gold with a note.
You can try.
You'd also have to call it back. It disappeared.
Yeah, I don't really have control of that, Greff. It kind of just happens. I don't do it on purpose.
Money goblin! Money goblin!
No,
Greff,
you can't.
No, Greff.
Greff.
We're at the back door of the fucking mine in the middle of the night and you're screaming.
It is quite a distance from the entrance of the mine. Like, it is quite far out.
Fine. I'm the only one trying to think of solutions. That's bullshit you guys are working to. You guys are doing a good job.
I think it's just best if we honestly wait an hour or so and then just go to her chambers once the coast is hopefully clear.
All right.
I mean, keep in mind, too, the device itself is meant to block scrying within that general vicinity, I feel like. So if it's on her, then, or if it's on us anyways, as soon as we walk in the room, that's going to be cut. Should be okay, I hope. I did as much work on the device as I could.
I'm sure it's going to be fine.
It better be.
Okay. With that, you guys wait a little while. It is a bit of time to get to where you were. You just wait a little bit longer and then head back again. During that time, your goblin companion, your treasure goblin, turns up with about kobold, sorry, with about 300 gold. Deposits it in your bag. It's like, yes, master, and then just like disappears in a little puff of smoke. So you now have 300 gold.
You might want to write it down separate.
You might want to. I'm not saying you need to.
I'm not gonna write it down separate.
You probably should.
You should write this. You should write this gold down. This gold doesn't need to be separate. That was only rain falling from the sky. I mean, this is different. This is
real
genuinely
gold
400 pieces of gold. Yeah,
from someone's belongings.
Workshop. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when you discover it's missing, I'm going to need to have it on my sheet to return to you. So I'm going to put it on my sheet.
Yeah, that's fine. You guys make your way up. When you get up there, the mine is at rest. It's at that, like, everyone should be asleep or is just doing their quiet skulking around, doing whatever it is they're doing. You see a couple of other members moving around and they just give you a nod, but there's none that you've seen this evening about, so no one recognizes you for the day. You know where Adalov's chambers are. You know where her, like, personal little place is. Are you guys going to boldly walk in there? Are you going to sneak in there? Are you going to see if she's about anywhere first? Or
I think you're just going to casually, like, just put ourselves in that office, just probably as quick, but as also casually as we can.
Like a quiet casual, we do belong here because we actually do, but...
Do you know what? I'm going to make you roll a stealth check.
That's fine.
Just to, like, fly under the radar. Whichever one of you wants to lead this, I'll let you roll.
Arawn got this. 15 stealth.
As you guys, like, sneak your way in, as you make your way into that kind of little sitting room that you guys were in before, where I think one of you were bleeding all over the place after the blood rain came down, Analov hears you and she steps out into that room. She's alone. She's just wearing something, like, very casually pulled over her head, like a little nightshirt or something. And she kind of looks at you a little bit bleary-eyed, of like, it's kind of quite early in the morning. You're talking about 3 or 4 or something. It's fairly late. It was quite a trek to the place and back again. She looks at you with big bleary eyes, like, oh, what? Get out.
No.
Okay, I mean, is that any way to greet your friends?
You're in my rooms. I have had a very long and rather shitty day, darling. I need my beauty sleep to look this beautiful. And she runs her hands over the points of her ears, like she's clearly taking the piss, but she's super tired.
That's fair, I guess. We just want to check in and let you know that we're all done. I'm all done.
We were part of this. Come on.
She blinks a little bit and kind of tries to shake the sleep out of her eyes, but you've clearly woken up just the wrong part of sleep. And she looks at Arawn and is like, "You're done." Oh, you're done.
Arawn kind of just like with 2 fingers pulls it out of a pocket.
Are you 100% sure?
As much as I can be. It's one of my creations, so I would hope so.
How does one use this device?
It's working right now. Just got to make sure that you keep it on you. Arawn just holds it out to her.
She reaches out and takes it, and she gestures for you to close the door and come further into her rooms. she takes you into what kind of looks like a almost like a mini kitchenette area, where she clearly eats, drinks, and prepares all her stuff. You can see that her bedroom is just like through an open door on the other side, and it's a complete tip on like the rest of this like beautifully glorious place. Like her room, the place where she sleeps, is not a tip. Like there are clothes everywhere. She very surreptitiously like closes the door behind you, leans against the kitchen table, and says, "I appreciate this. Thank you.
We had a deal.
I hope this wasn't too much for you to... I kind of had rather thought it would just be you working on it, Arawn. How come our lovely gentlemen here are involved?"
It got complicated.
Oh, Greff has his hands behind his like back, and he's like looking off at the distance, like,
Greff.
I didn't do anything.
Greff, please. She pulls out a chair and like, Greff, sit.
Oh, yes, please, thank you. Sits down.
Just don't break it.
She puts her hands like either side of the arms and like leans over best she can. I mean, you are still taller than her sitting down, but she does her best to look intimidating in a nightdress. She like looks at him like, what does he mean by complicated, Greff? What did you do?
Greff, don't.
Mm-hmm.
Adna, I'm actually going to, how do I explain this? We, both, me and us, need to hear what you have to say, because what you say is going to really impact everything that we have to say.
Take a persuasion check for me. With advantage.
9. Ron's not charismatic.
I think I need a little bit more. Let's start with, and she kind of she basically leans back against the kitchen table again. She says, I need something as to why these two are involved with this. And she indicates the device. Just something.
The best way I can explain it is the magic part that has to be put into that is not in my repertoire. Mm-hmm. And typically the only people that have access to that are less than savory sorts.
What's wrong, Admiral, if you don't trust us?
I had rather meant to keep this as under wraps as possible. I don't know exactly who I can trust right now, but I know I can trust Arawn with money.
Well, I can tell you 100% nobody within the Kino initiative helped with that. He looks really proud of the statement.
She kind of like puts her hand over her eyes, like pinches the bridge of her nose a little bit, runs it down the end of her nose, and like begins to tug on the end of her ear. And she's like, Greff, clearly not meant to be a politician.
No, but he does.
Poli what?
There are things I want to say, but I can't because it just.
Is that the one where you have like more than one girlfriend?
No. Oh, okay, Greff.
Oh boy. Perhaps you should all take a seat. And she pulls out a kitchen chair and just like sits down. It's a little bit low for you taller races. Greff, like his knees are more up by his ears than anything else. But you can make do. And she says, I was made aware a little while ago that I've been scryed upon by certain council members. How do I begin this tale? Brachus came to me a few days before Ivoris died and informed me that that was the case. I didn't believe him, of course, because God's dying. Who believed that in this day and age? But a God did die. So I started investigating some of his other claims. And whilst investigating one of this, I became aware that there was a scrying spell upon me, and I needed that to go so I could finish doing the rest of the investigation that he set me upon.
And what are those investigations?
He told me that an apocalypse is coming, that Bikron will shake and bleed. that the gods themselves will die. He told me that he was being monitored exceptionally closely and being manipulated by one or many of the council members. I'm not really sure. His device, his spell, wasn't going to last particularly long, and he could only tell me what he could quickly before he had to be back in place, before the eyes would return to see and watch him. He told me that I needed to get a message to Discora, that I needed to warn the orders of the sheltered that the assembly was right, that there was an apocalypse coming and that we should stop this. He told me that his son Indrak was dead, that the person working against him, against all of us, had him killed. And that was all he could really and rightly say before he had to leave. He was very scared. I've known Baracus for quite a while. I've never seen him this distraught, even after the death of his wife. So I started investigating. I went to visit the orcs in Olcath. It was like a scene from a nightmare. There were many dead orcs, but I wish I could say that they were dead and buried. They were not. They were moving. Something was puppeting and moving them around. I managed to get to an island where there was a particular group of orcs, one led by a particularly strong and brutish woman named Helsif. She was understanding. She'd kept herself separate from the rest, and she informed me of what the orcs and this particular council member, she didn't know the name of either. She's bugging me. The orcs had been part of this plan to take down the gods, and then being resurrected was not part of the plan, but it served a higher purpose. I just need to check to see on the status of his son now, and see what is going on there, and then figure out which one of these council members Baracus does not trust. Of course, it could be Baracus himself. Who knows?
You know the initiative is asking for the scroll to use it to kill the god, right?
I did not know. How do you come by this? Perhaps leap of logic. I don't really know where this comes from. What happened?
Well, as you just said, the assembly was right. Someone was trying to kill the gods.
And this scroll has something to do with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a powerful enough thing to do that. You need an artifact and a person of strong faith. That's really it. Anyone that was trying to get this is a threat to Ogma.
Arawn, how safe is this scroll? Truly.
I'm gonna say that probably for most of this, Arawn has not been paying full attention. He's sitting in the chair and currently kind of turning a set of panpipes over in his hands and just staring at them.
Arawn.
What?
How safe are the scrolls? The scroll. How safe is it? Truly.
Well, Arawn looks around, gets up and swings the door open. Is it empty?
Yes.
Sticks his head out, looks both ways.
Are you walking because you're currently in the kitchen? Are you walking through the sitting room and looking into the hallway?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna need you to make a perception check.
There's nobody there, totally. Don't worry.
14.
There's nobody there, totally.
Okay.
As far as your character is aware, there is no one there.
All right.
Sorry.
Arawn's gonna close the door, go back into the other room, close that door, sit back down. Tell no one.
Of course.
No commentary.
She nods.
Arawn pulls the gun off his back and slides the panel to the side on the stock.
Of course. I shouldn't have expected anything else, really, should I?
I just said no commentary.
Okay.
He slides it back into place immediately and puts the gun back on his holster.
You were going to tell me that this, and she directs points at the device that she's wearing, that she's holding in her hand, a little bit more complicated than... How? What? Everything, please.
We talked to someone to get the other side of the story, let's just say.
Ivoris, my darling, we are so far in it right now. Holding back secrets is not going to do anyone any good.
No, but plausible deniability will.
I'm telling you the truth. If you don't trust me enough to take it, then that's fine.
She reaches, puts her hand just in front of you and she says, it's not that I don't trust you, Ivoris. I need to know all the facts before I move forward. I can't make a proper decision on what is going on if I need to trust the information I've been told so far.
We found a spy who was willing to talk.
For the assembly? You've had contact?
We have contact all the time. They just don't talk. We found one that would. The end.
Oh, Greff looks uncomfortable now, like...
It goes a lot deeper. Or rather, a lot higher. Just turns out that we're working for the wrong ones.
Someone here had intent to use this scroll, is what I'm telling you. That is what my logical... That's my gut feeling, that's my logic, that's everything.
You are trying to protect your source. I understand that.
Until we know more truth, Adnalov, no one's willing to talk to us about anything. We could only go based on what we can get by going behind the other's back. Now, if no one wants to be up forward and honest with us, then I'm going to keep going behind backs to figure out what's going on, because someone killed my god, Adnalov, and if there's a chance that they're doing it again, I'm going to keep them from doing it.
If they are after the Scroll of Ogma, it would make sense that that is the next person they are targeting. We have the scroll.
You guys have been more aggressive about getting it, that's for certain.
Coupled with the fact I actually want to believe Barakas. There's nothing about him that's led me to believe that he was lying.
What he said tracks with what the assembly person said. The person in the assembly said that there was people manipulating.
Who is the most recent addition to the council?
Your friend. She looks at Greff. Remember the gentleman we met? Well, the gentleman you met when you first arrived. A certain person you had a certain run-in with the bar.
No.
She nods. You remember that yellow tiefling? His name was Ennis Anthar. He runs Shilvana, is upon the council.
No wonder he had so much fucking pull.
Yes.
Was he on the council when I punched him?
No. Oh. No, yes, he must have been.
Oh. Well, that was a bad move.
Yes, it took rather a lot of pull to get you out of jail, my friend. But yes.
I thought he was just some uppity boy with a bodyguard that could not defend him.
You are not wrong. He is the most recent addition, but he is not uni edition. I don't know how far back this goes, or who to include or who to exclude. I don't, as much as I want to believe Barakas and the things he has said, I believe he is telling the truth.
The assembly says that they can't open up about what they're doing because they keep getting shut down. every time they try.
She looks at the three of you in turn and says, well, we have rather been getting them rather quickly and rather hard, haven't we?
Right, well, maybe we should listen.
Yes, I think you're right. I think we four are the only one who knows as much as we do.
That makes us targets.
It does indeed for both sides, I think.
Actually, it makes you an even bigger target.
I'm about to make myself an even bigger target, my friend. Someone has to protect the scroll from the initiative. So far, they are aware that it has... Your mission is over, but they don't know where it is. Someone's going to need to take the brunt of that. Yes, I need to convince them not to look for it anymore, or that it is not worth looking for. So if I tell them that it is hidden, they'll just go find it. And I think if I tell them that I have it in a safe place, they'll be distracted with me for a while. I will buy you some time with the scroll. I think for now, we four are working outside of the initiative, and we're working outside of the assembly. If it was anyone other than you three, I wouldn't be doing this. I would probably just slaughter you right here. But I actually trust each of you. Yes, even you, Greff. But we have to play this very carefully. I would get more of these devices for yourself. Make sure that you are not being tracked or followed.
That's gonna be difficult.
However, you got this. I appreciate the effort.
Yeah, no worries.
Perhaps this would actually be better with you. If
No.
they are watching me, I can draw their attention for a while, and you need to doubly protect what is in your possession. And she just looks at the gun.
No. The fact that you are preventing scrying is also a good indication that you are actually hiding something. They'd probably actually believe that you have the scroll if they can't spy on you, which makes us less of a target. But my concern is that you are not safe, so if you do get in trouble, we'll try to find a safe place, and if you come find any of us, we'll have that place ready.
She nods. I haven't always been Adolov. I have been a few people in the past. If I need to hide, I will.
All right, well.
For now, I agree. Your double bluff idea is actually perfect. I love it.
So while you're being a target, are we gonna finish up your investigation? Is that the plan?
I think it would be good to get as much information as we can. I mean, we know potentially who their next target is. We just need to keep our ear to the ground. And if you have your contact in the assembly, get as much information from them as possible. I think for now, business as usual, and I shall keep their eyes drawn upon me. We need to investigate the initiative. I don't quite know how to get you up into the council level yet, but we'll definitely give it a good go.
So we're supposed to keep working for the initiative.
On paper, we don't actually have to do jobs.
That is correct. I can hide your activities under a lot of paper. Darlings, you do not know how much paper is associated with this unit. My God, I haven't seen a real fight in years.
I'm not going to lie, Adnov. I'm going to be kind of picky about the jobs. Choose them carefully for me, will you?
Of course I will. I will do what I can on my end, but we need to be aware that I am drawing their eyes for a while.
That being said, I mean, if there's any good paying ones...
She shakes her head. The fate of the world. And your paycheck, of course.
It's very important to me.
Greff's doing that mimic of a scale where he's like, fate of the world, and then drops that hand, money. Drops that hand. Fate of the world. Drops that hand. Money.
My goodness.
Arawn looks like he wants to say something, but like holding himself back. Like he's just.
All right. We're not tracking down the council. And let's be very honest, one person in the council will know me personally, so we're not fucking with that person yet. So why don't we wet Baracus to start with?
You want to vet the leader of the council?
No, I mean, vet his stories. I don't think I could go into his house and read his diary. Dear diary, today I tried to stop the end of the world.
With that device, you could have a longer conversation with him, right?
Yes, I could.
He sounds like someone we can trust. At least, you know what I mean.
Arawn has a very sour face. I'm not so sure, but...
If what you're saying is true, he doesn't have the intention that we are under the impression that someone has.
I don't
if he
trust
was forewarning you, we can assume he isn't a threat.
From the enemy's point of view, putting me on this lead, I would never be on this if it wasn't for him. Let's try and track the part of the story that I have yet been able to verify, the death of his son. The bizarre thing is, I know I've seen him in the last few years. I heard reports of him being in Shorvana a couple of days, along with his father and the rest of the council, a few days before the death of Ivoris. Maybe it is a new thing, I'm not sure, but we need to get this confirmed.
Greff, aren't you going to ask how much the job pays?
I'm sorry, I was thinking about something else. I thought we were doing this for free because we need to make sure we're not actually working for god killers before we get paid again.
I can funnel funds. I can make it look like you're on a job. Prisoners disappear in the system all the time. She kind of gives half a smile.
That's what I wanted to hear. Now I have two things I want to talk about. Was it Goblin Fuck from Kit 4 was following us when we were doing something earlier. So if they start asking questions, to say yes, I assume.
Oh, Kit 4. They are the ones who've come for the scroll. I will find a way of dealing with them.
Okay, that might not be good.
No.
Ivoris, we have to tell her. She has to be able to cover our story.
Tell me what?
We named her in the story. We brought 2 prisoners to the mine earlier today.
Oh, yes.
And they may have both been not put in the prison. And they may both have left the cave. Mine.
One of those was your... Oh, boy. I will straighten it out with them. I will.
All right. Second thing. What was the whole city closed down the other day? What was it, like last night? 2 nights ago?
Oh, yes. The orcs were being transported from the Olcath Isles down to Freedom's Bluff.
All of the orcs?
The dead ones.
Oh.
Yes. That's why they didn't want anyone on the roads.
The walking dead ones?
Yes. Now, there were a few live ones in there. I know that, but seeing the dead walk again is uncomfortable for many people. Not in such a large bulk.
But Halsiv's still home on her island, right?
When I spoke to her, yes.
Yeah, she's fine.
You care about a random orc?
No, Alsif's a great warrior. Did you fight her? I bet you did.
Alsif? No, of course I didn't. I didn't want to die.
Yeah, you'd be dead in a fucking second. No, Alsif's a great warrior. Of course I've heard of her. I went to train under her for a while.
Oh, you're probably the Goliath she was speaking of. She has she kind of looks up and tries to find like a polite word. She has rather open-minded views. She's willing to work with anyone.
Hey, no, I'm not just anyone.
Greff, you are definitely a certain special someone, but she's talking about having trained Goliaths and goblins and half-elves and dwarves and the such like. So she gives like a half smile. Like
I thought it was special.
You are, Greff, you are. I think it's probably time for us to say goodnight. I am utterly exhausted. This is a lot of information to process, and I've got to try and figure out how to straighten certain things out. If I hear of any jobs that I think are simple, I'll put you on those. We'll keep your ears close to the ground as possible.
Do you know where we would start looking to confirm Baracus' story? Or to find his kid? What was his name?
His name is Indrak.
Indrak, yeah.
Right now, Greff, I don't have enough information.
We'll take care of it, like we take care of everything.
She kind of gives you like a false like, no, don't do that. I'll leave it in your capable hands. Anyway, in the words of a good friend of mine, get out so I can go to sleep.
Sounds like a smart friend. Greff gets up and walks out.
Alrighty.
Arawn has not left the room.
I figured. Ivoris, are you leaving the room?
Yeah, I'll go, sure.
Okay. I will deal with you two in a moment then. Arawn, it's just you and Adolf. She kind of like, she's sitting at still sitting at the end of the table, her head like, her eyes closed, her head like leaned back against the chair.
The rest of our agreement?
Oh, the money, yes. I'll put that in your workshop tomorrow.
Okay. I have a feeling that my work is going to end up being more important than I had thought for reasons beyond my own.
Perhaps. I have absolutely no idea what you're doing. And she kind of like opens one eye, looks over at you with a little bit of a, she might know more than she's letting on close her eye again.
I'd prefer to keep it that way.
Wild horses shall not drag it from my lips. You should expect 500 tomorrow, and I shall divert what I can from the initiative as I go along.
Sounds like a deal to me. The more the merrier.
If there's nothing else, I really would like to go to sleep.
And the device?
I will keep hold of it. I think Ivoris' idea is a very smart one.
All right. Arawn takes a moment, stands up, and then looks at the chair that he was sitting in and realizes that he dug a lot of deep furrows into the wood. And kind of just flips it over and does a quick mending on it and then leaves.
Yep, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, cool beans. All right, I guess that's the night for you guys. All right, you guys go back to wherever it is you wish to spend what little remains of the night.
Workshop.
Yep, that's fine. Adolov doesn't bother you over the next day or anything. So unless you go to find her or you're checking up on what's going on in the mine, basically what happens with her will happen with her. Is there anything you guys wish to do in this kind of like off day before I ram more plot down you?
Work on blueprints.
You can definitely do that, my dude.
Mark a day off?
Yeah, mark a day off.
I'm going to do hanging out with Baskin, and over the day, he would probably do some visions.
Baskin hasn't returned back from his Sorry, from his most recent catch, he's not come back yet. He's still out at sea. But you can definitely do some visions.
How long does he usually go out to sea?
Couple of days. I don't know. Ask the resident that has been a fisherman. How long do you guys normally spend at sea?
The old wooden kind of boats would never stay out for much more than like 7 days. You couldn't really preserve food and the fish for that long. Much longer than that.
There you go.
Okay.
A few days.
Then I'm going to be hanging out in my miserable manor. In my miserable little room away from all the miserable guards doing visions.
There are definitely some guards. Okay, I'm gonna do the practical thing. Like you can do 2 separate visions today. Just like otherwise you can just keep on doing it and then eventually make yourself blind forever. But let's not do that. So, what would you like to focus on for your first one?
I can't remember what I've done.
Dragons! 2 dragons!
I was going to say that, but I think I've already tried that. I don't think I succeeded, though, on that.
You can try again. You can absolutely try again. I just didn't want you to, because I think we allowed you to try, twice on each one last time. But yeah, you can try again if you don't feel like you got enough.
I'm going to do the I was going to say Greff's tabaxi friend. But I'm actually going to do the white tabaxi friend.
Okay,
Ooh.
so...
I'm going to do her because he needs to actually find her. And then he's going to do Baskin.
Oh, that's adorable. Okay.
And also a little bit creepy.
No, it's not. He doesn't have, This isn't like invasion of privacy. This is future vision things.
Look. Ivoris doesn't do emotions very well. He doesn't know that this is weird and creepy. He's like, oh, I miss him. I want to check on him. It's a thing you can do.
I know.
Can I not think about my boyfriend?
It's adorable. It's just funny to poke fun at it.
Okay, let's do Millhook first. Okay. You sit down. You close your eyes. You take a minute. You focus on the future. Yes, I need you to make a future check, please. It is at disadvantage because you are currently untrained. You'll get proficiency soon, I promise.
10.
Wait, it's a disadvantage because of that?
Yep.
Oof.
Because this is a real homebrew, I need to make sure I don't fuck myself.
I don't think I've done
a
disadvantage on the last ones.
Did you not?
No. It just doesn't add proficiency bonus.
Yeah, I don't have proficiency bonus on it.
It's
a
right.
+2.
Okay, well, I had it written down at disadvantage, but I'm happy just to take it as not. That's fine, whatever. I don't care.
Shit. Oh, okay.
Let's just say you've had some time to practice these skills. So if it was a disadvantage before and I've changed it, sure, but it's literally what I've written on my sheet. It was disadvantage, but all right. Okay, so what did you get then?
Well, I mean, that was in... Was it still a 10?
11?
It was still a 10. It was a 10.
No, it'd be 11.
Yeah, it'd be 11.
Oh, no, yeah, no, because
the first one 10.
First one 10, yep.
Okay.
Yep, it was a 10.
With a 10, I need you to make a con save, please.
Fuck.
DC 14. You do not go blind!
16. Man,
and I
that
need
was
you
just
to
a
roll
one-time
3d4,
thing.
please.
Who?
You 3d4, please. This is your
3d4?
psychic damage for failing.
Oh, son of a bitch. It's been so long. I know
it's been a while since we've done your visions.
That is 5 damage.
You take 5 psychic damage. And you don't get anything at all. You focus on the very small interaction that you had with her, and that kind of little bit at the doorway where she kind of looks at you with contempt and disgust, it just keeps playing back over in your mind so much it just hurts, stuck on repeat, and it just reverbs in your ears. It's not good, and you get nothing of use out of it, I'm afraid.
Great.
Okay, and you want to do one on Baskin?
Yeah, because after that I give up on doing any productive missions.
I honestly hope you get a nat 20 on this. Do a future check.
It's a not natural 20.
It's close. It's close.
It's close.
Okay. on a thing. Vision of 2 parts. Okay. As you begin to focus in on Baskin, as you begin to focus in on who he is and how you saw him last, you focus in on the ship. The ship itself seems to be in the midst of a very big and heavy storm. You see Baskin shouting orders, but you can't understand what he's saying. You see sailors going up and down the rigging, and they're cutting and they're trying to get something loose, and there is just chaos aboard the ship. And then you see a huge tidal wave hit them side on, and the ship knocks and falls into the water. And then that kind of begins to fizzle out as you kind of focus in, slightly panicked on what the hell is going on with Baskin. And as you zoom in on him, you find him coughing and sputtering and pulling himself to shore. You can see him looking around as another wave smacks him square in the face, and he reaches out and grabs someone nearby, and he pulls their head up out of the water, him initially ducking down a little bit to get them air. You see him going back away from this kind of area that he's beached up on again and again to keep continually going to get some of his men. And then the vision fades out. Uh-oh. You have no feel as to whether this is a past, present, or future event. Actually, this is a future check. You would know that it's vaguely in the future. You just don't know whether it's real close to where you are now or very, very far in the future.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ivoris would go down to the docks at that point and find someone that keeps track of when ships come in. And let them know about that.
You go down to the docks. The real miserable harbour master isn't there because you scared the snot out of him last time, and he sees you come in and send someone off to deal with you instead. It's a little goblin lass. You can see her hair's cut real short, but she's trying her best. And she looks up at you and she says, "Hello?"
Yeah, Iris looks kind of scared and nervous. Oh, hi. It's kind of hard to explain. But I think a ship might be in trouble. The ship that Baskin has, Baskin's ship.
Oh, the fisherman, the sushi chef. Yeah. You think his ship is in trouble?
Yeah, I saw it. In a vision. It's hard to explain again. He flashes his eye as if that makes sense of it too, but it doesn't.
How in trouble? What do you mean? Is it on fire or?
There was a storm.
She kind of looks down, and you can see her trying to think her way through, and she looks up and says, "There isn't a storm reported for a while. We think the weather's going to be mostly clear for a few weeks. But of course these things can change out deep at sea. We'll keep an eye. He's supposed to be coming back in tomorrow or the day after."
Okay. I'll check in. Just if you don't come back, send someone, I guess. I don't know how any of that works.
Where do you want me to send a message to?
Oh, not a message. Help.
Oh, if they're not back in time, then I will make sure that they're aware that there's been a thing, and that we'll send someone out far quicker than we would normally. I'll make sure of it myself. And you see her nod and smile.
Yeah, he looks quite a bit relieved and smiles and nods. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Leaves because he knows that his presence is frightening.
She seems to have no real fright of you. It might be because she's quite young. But you can see the old harbour master who did not like you at all. You see him behind us looking terrifiedly at the girl and up at you, but she seems happy enough. Okay. I will step aside from you. Arawn.
Hi.
You up to anything in particular today other than working on your blueprints?
I'm actually thinking about it. I actually think I want to make something that was on my list.
Yeah, sure. What do you want to try for?
The flying notes
Yes. Yes.
The flying sticky notes?
Yep. I'm going to say that if you literally spend like the whole day from the moment you get up to the moment you go to sleep, I'm going to say you can probably make like a little batch of those.
Let's go with yeah. Because the more I'm thinking about it in Arawn's mind, that's probably a more immediate useful item.
Yeah. I'll tell you, roll an intellect check for me, because at the moment we had the idea they would just be messages, like the spell message in a sticky note. But if you get high enough, I'll say that you can use it like a one-shot use of ascending.
Gotcha. So, is this a tinker check or? Yeah,
tinkers for sure.
Okay. In which
let's say the DC is like 18, and you can use one of them to do a ascending.
All right. In that case, I have that because I have expertise.
Of course.
That's a nat 20.
All right. You have like 2 sending, and you have like 10 messages. Does that seem fair?
Sure.
All right. There you go. You write that down somewhere. Whatever.
2 sendings, 10 messages.
Yes. Okay. You spend your day faffing around making notes. Greff.
Yes.
All right, my dude. What are you up to?
I'm harassing Azed.
Look, mate, I told you, piss off already. I'm not. Okay, you make your way back to the leaky bucket. Yes. At some point in the afternoon, you notice Azed like opening the door. You hear the friendly like of his mate walking in behind him, and as he opens the door, he sees you and immediately turns to try and leave.
Oh, that's a bad sign. That's a bad move, Azed. Greff quickly gets up, follows behind him, and I'm gonna say Greff first stops the Aarakocra and he's just gonna see how Azed reacts to that.
The bird just lifts its little arms, its wings. Azed he takes a few steps away. Here's the troll of the bird, and Azed turns around and is like, Greff, my mate, how you doing? It's been a while.
No, I was just here to talk to our mutual friend, but lucky for me, you're here.
Well, it's a beautiful sunny day. Points up to the clouds above, which are threatening rain. I've got friends, and we've got beer inside. So what can a friend do for another friend on a day like this, Greff?
Greff is gonna go down on one knee, so he's eye level with Azed, and he looks him just square in the eyes and do we have a problem?
Problem? Of course we don't have a problem. I mean, I've paid my part up.
He reaches out and I'm imagining he's wearing some kind of a button, kind of sailory looking suit thingy.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah.
And he just starts picking at the button, yeah, no problem. All paid tabs, all words spoken.
Yeah. What do you want, Greff?
Greff slowly daws him you don't remember anything, do you? You're completely wasted.
He gives you a smile I don't remember anything. I mean, I don't know what you're asking for, Greff.
Greff is gonna shove him as he stands up
whoa, Greff, I mean,
okay,
sometimes...
First of all, you have not paid all your tabs because last night and the night before that people drank for
that was on the kindness of our landlords.
You shut the fuck.
Greff, you know how my memory comes back with the glint of gold and beer. I'm not saying I don't remember. I'm just saying I don't remember right now.
Greff's gonna grab the back of his head and start shoving him towards the leaky bucket. We've got words to exchange.
All right. It's just having a friendly chat, having a friendly jive with you.
Greff, as he enters, he just points at the stage and at the at the Aarakocra, and then goes at the bar, grabs himself 2 ales, and leads Azed to some back area.
Okay, let's say for like the last day or so, the tiefling barmaid has managed to get some sort of crude furniture set back up in here. There's like a little area right by the stage area that you could probably sit down and keep yourselves. At least anyone who can read lips wouldn't be able to see you from where you're sitting. It's fairly busy.
Greff's gonna move over to Goblin as he slides the beer over to a set and thirsty?
Yeah. He takes a couple of. Yeah, it's coming back now.
Yeah, I bet a lot of things are gonna come back. I'm sure you forgot a lot of things.
Yeah, I forgot an awful lot. The other night was a trip and a half. So it was a good trip. And he drinks the beer and he says, things are coming back, but you know how these things work. Sometimes I just need a little bit of a nudge of a memory. And he kind of looks at you.
Greff's just gonna lean in conspiratorially and I need your help. And let's say it pays well if you do it well.
He reaches over. He takes your beer, has a few drinks, and he says, "Yeah, I understand it pays well. I've done enough work for it, I think."
We're looking for a goblin. Well, not looking for him. We're looking for information on a goblin. You already found him.
He nods.
You already have anything on him, or just the name?
Well, the beer gets you a name. He chugs it back and says, "The name you're looking for is Erkin Varheit."
Erkin Warheit.
Var.
Greff leans back, all right, we're talking the same language at least. That's good. And takes another sip. And if I were to ask you for some more details, his height, his hobbies, his favorite place to screw a mistress, what would you say?
I'd say I need a little bit more than a beer.
You know you're a piece of shit, right?
Oh, but you love me, Greff.
Greff's gonna pick 5 gold coins out of his pocket and slide them across the table.
Take a persuasion check.
Oh, jeez. There we go.
This guy's job, he gets paid to be the biggest piece of shit. And you just enable this. I hope you know that you were enabling this.
Persuasion check. It was a fantastic perception check. You can clearly tell he has more to tell you.
No. I rolled an 18 on my persuasion, and I rolled a 4 on my Okay, yeah. Greff clearly.
I was going to cost you a bit more than that. I mean, I did a lot of work finding this out. I was get myself thrown in jail for things I know.
Look here, you little piece of shit. Greff goes into his pocket and gets 10 more gold coins out and throws them at the table, not caring if heads turn, just
Greff, keep yourself under control, mate. We're just having a friendly chat. I mean, I don't have to tell you what I know. But he collects up the gold pieces anyway. Says,
when he says, I don't have to tell you things that I know, Greff's gonna grab the back of his head and slam his head into the table.
Ooh.
Intimidate check.
Yeah.
With strength instead of charisma?
Yeah, with strength instead of charisma. Yeah.
All right. That just changes. I get a +2 to the thing. That's 17.
He pulls his head up. His nose is bleeding. He looks suitably uncomfortable. He puts his hands up to his nose. Blimey, Jeff. For my life. What? Greff, what? Fine. You want to know about this guy? He had a wife. I mean, he's got a kid. He's the biggest snitch known man. This is the kind of guy who reported his own mother for stealing food for feed him and his hungry brothers and sisters. This is what kind of fuckwit this guy is. And the apple don't fall far from the tree. His daughter, snitched in on his wife because apparently, and this is only apparently, and I had to dig deep for this one, apparently Erkin's wife somehow had learned, like, Discora Common. And the kid grassed her out. And then Erkin did all the paperwork and delivered her to the initiative himself. This guy is a real fucking piece of work. He is a company man down and down. He works for the man and he loves it.
All right, so he has no dirty laundry. He's straight.
I didn't say that. He's got one voice. He's got one voice. He's a bit of a gambler.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
You know that the clubhouse near the east entrance?
Yeah, like the one that always has that big brute up the front?
Yeah. Really Greff guy like yourself.
Yeah.
Huge muscles. Muscles the size of me. He's got a bit of a debt going there. Rumour has it, it's big enough to cripple him and have him thrown out of his home. I don't know if you can use that, but that's all I've got on him.
All right.
Fuck my nose, Greff.
You seem to forget that I don't need you. I like you.
You don't need me. Why'd you call for me?
Because I like you. And Greff's got to put another 10 gold on the table and say, you drink free tonight. You've done a good job.
Drink free for 2 weeks. And he like reaches out and pulls the gold towards him. And he goes up and joins his mate on stage. The songs become more about like how sticking it to the man is important and how the landlord always stiffs the clients. That's his new repertoire of C70 songs. Okay, you guys have passed your day. Is there anything else in particular anyone wants to do today before I roll into the next morning when plot will happen at you?
Visions.
You've had 2 visions. You've had your visions. Okay, I'll tell you what, before the beginning of the next, like, let's say the morning of day 26 over on Kino, let's say you can have one more. Go on.
I'm going to try again at the white tabaxi.
Okay, go for it.
I could try other things, but nope. I'm going to be stubborn. But I got a 19.
Oh, nice. As you really focus in this time, as you're like, I've got it today, like your mind needs the distraction from the potential catastrophe that Baskin is at some point going to encounter. Your mind focuses in on the white tabaxi on Millhook. You see her standing there tall. You see her looking over at a drow. This drow has white hair and big pale yellow eyes. They don't seem to have any scars or anything, but they seem to be wearing the iconography of a pair of white hands with a red cord on. You see Millhook reach out and shake their hand. They seem to be come to some sort of agreement. And as Millhook looks over, you see the 3 of you standing there as well. You see like a kind of flickering, a very small flickering. You think maybe Adnalov, but her vision is flickering in and out. She's not definitely there, if that makes sense. You see all of you talking and agreeing, and you see Millhook take a step forward and pull her blade, and she kind of holds it out in front of her, pointing it at you, but it's not quite in a threatening manner. As all of this is going on, as you see from Millhook's point of view, she sees the 3 of you and the little flickering image of Adnalov. You see behind that you are in a cave of some sort, but there is a waterfall inside this cave. But the rock all around you is kind of like pale, maybe whitish in colour. And as you look out towards behind where she is, you see it opens out and you can see the sea, and you can see that there are some clouds in the background. Make a history check for me. This is going to be a little bit obscure, but you might know it.
19.
You've heard in Freedom's Bluff there is reportedly a bar inside the side of the bluff itself, inside the cliff. You heard that there's a waterfall in a cave system in there. There you go.
Okay.
At some point in the morning, probably just after your vision, actually, Ivoris, each of you receives a message that Adnanov wants to see you, that there is a potential job that you could be helping out on. And she sends this message and says, please be with her as soon as possible. Wait a minute, 2 of you are in the city. She sends a note that says to meet her in the north entrance. For Arawn, who's already in the mine, she just comes quietly taps on your workspace and asks you to go with her. The other 2 of you are sent notes ahead of her. And the 4 of you end up meeting up at the north entrance. And she says,
Greff leaves the leaky bucket, he tells the tiefling bar lady, Asa does not drink free for more than today, and leaves.
But he has told me he drinks free for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
he has told me a lot of bullshit.
You hear her muttering curses under her voice, everyone tells you bullshit anyway. I mean, don't believe anybody. She goes about her work, but yes. Arawn.
When Adnanov first comes to get him, as he walks out of his workspace and starts following her, he's going to reach into his bag and pull out one of the sending notes.
Yep.
And he's just going to hold it out to her without, he's not making eye contact. It's one of those, he passes it to the side without looking at her.
Yeah, she takes the note. She's it's just not the first time she's done this kind of maneuver. Yeah, she takes it and pockets it.
This is, consider it a gift. If at any point you need to get a message out, write it down, fold it up, and toss it in the air, and it'll fly to its recipient.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
This is a last resort type thing. I can't make many of those very easily.
She nods. Understood. Right, let's get on with it then.
Right.
You guys meet at the gate. Adolf looks a little bit distressed. This is last night's and the night before's events have clearly gotten to her. Arawn, you would have noticed that Kit 4 left late yesterday evening. She seemed on edge since then. But that's about it, really. She meets up with you and she says, well, rather a curious turn of events, but it would appear that Ennis Athnar himself has a bounty for us. Yes, my reaction exactly. When someone so high in the Kino initiative asks us to do a bounty, we do it promptly, right?
I guess.
She gives you that overactive nod of yes, there's something going on. Yes, we should deal with this. As you guys are mostly rested after your last course, I thought it would be best I bring you along to find out exactly what this bounty is. And perhaps a bit of a snoop. But you didn't hear me say that. Okay. Let us go meet this one then. She takes you guys deep into the city itself. Some of the big central buildings, an old temple that's been converted is the one that now Ennis kind of rules from. A lot of people going in and out, a lot of bureaucratic types. People running around with important bureaucrat. I don't know what bureaucrats or politicians do. They just go in and out all the time. And she takes you in. She uses her badge and her influence just to walk past many of these guards who try to hold you up. She's like, no, please. And takes you guys in. You guys and Adolov are shown into essentially what is a council room. There is a table with a bunch of chairs. It is a long, thin table. And at one end, there is a chair. It's a little bit more ornate than the S, but it's not exactly a throne. And this is where a very pale yellow tiefling is sitting. This tiefling's markings get paler around the nostrils and the horns. You can see a pretty deep crack in the left horn. And Greff, that's your handiwork right there. They look up and just like give you a nod and says, "Please sit down. Take a seat."
Okay, I'll take a seat.
Greff's gonna put somebody between himself and the yellow tiefling, even though he's so tall, he'll easily. No, actually, Ivoris is actually huge. So yeah, Greff's gonna put himself behind Ivoris.
He's not winged, nor is he feral.
Thank you.
Here's your bog standard tiefling. Adolov sits down closest to him, and he says, "I've got quite enough to be going on with right now, so let's just get on with this. As many of you are aware, my family are renowned alchemists. We also have something called an alchemist stone. It's ours have been in our family for many generations. One of them is currently with my sister. The other one is on loan to a very important Kino initiative member. The other one, however, has been stolen. And I would charge you to bring it back and to bring the person who is responsible for this theft to justice. I hear you guys are good at bringing home bounties. To the cost itself, I will give you 300 for return of the stone, and I will give you 300 for bringing back the culprit alive. I've been led to believe from the people who survived the attack that they have a bodyguard. I don't need the bodyguard alive. I just want the thief."
How far is this trip gonna take us?
Now, the person who orchestrated it is a pretty powerful ritualist, some sort of wizard, I assume. They have the ability to teleport, so they could be in most places, but we got a pretty good beat. We think they may probably be in a place called Freedom's Bluff. It's down the coast. It's about 30 days walk out.
Uh-huh. Okay. And how are we going to find this individual?
I've got a couple of names. The ritualist, the gnome, the wizard. Her name is Kania Bia's daughter. KaniaBeasDottir.
Just one word.
You should probably copy pasta that.
Copy pasta. Kania Bia's daughter. Yeah. Thank you very much, Thirsty, you son of a bitch. Kania Bia's daughter.
It's 2 words. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna just be Kania though.
That's fine, because
that's the first name.
So far as the eyewitness reports go, Kania has dark red hair, and she has a scar on the left-hand side of her face, a burn mark. And her companion is a rather large Goliath. Their name is Karsus. The only real descriptor I got was light gray skin and the tallest Goliath you've ever seen.
Sure. Now, expediency is very important for us, so access to a teleporter to Freedom's Bluff would be very beneficial for everybody included for the success of the mission. Greff looks kind of confused that he actually managed to say that sentence without bumbling.
Ivoris raises an eyebrow and looks backwards like, oh, okay.
Adolov also looks over like, my God, I think the boy's got it. I can get you guys a teleport. That's not a problem.
Read one fucking book and all of a sudden I'm fucking Socrates.
Who's that? I can get that arranged pretty soon. I assume that this means that you're gonna do it. I don't need to find another mercenary set. I can rely on you guys as the government to help me out.
Sure, we've got it.
All right. Now, I'm not going to give you a time limit, to be totally honest, because I need this as soon as possible. I can say 7 days, but that's completely irrelevant. What I need it as soon as possible. This is exceptionally important to me.
All right.
They pull out through their sheaf of papers. They pull out a piece of paper, and there is a rough sketch on it. The rough sketch is of a circular crystal, and there is scored in it a cross, an X that goes all the way to the edges. It's almost a perfect circle. The cross is perfectly in there, and it has drawn on there. You can see that it's supposed to be like misted inside. I don't really know how to explain that any better. They say the gem itself is a pale yellow. Can't miss it. It's about yay big, and they hold open like their hand, and it's, you know, as big a circle as they can make with one hand.
Shouldn't be a problem. Speed is the name of the game, and you want to see this bastard alive, right?
Yes.
Easy.
There are some exceptionally potent potions that can be made with this alchemist stone, and there are specific, rather dangerous rituals that need it. So I kind of rather get this back in my possession.
Sure.
I guess I better write you that writ for the teleport, huh?
That would be helpful.
He reaches over, takes a empty clean sheet, starts writing, and as he's writing, says, "Your people are very quick at love. I'm impressed." She kind of looks at you all, half a smile. She says, "My people are the best. I accept nothing else." He hands over the writ.
Just to make sure, that writ is good for round trip, yes?
He's about to hand over the paper, pulls it back, writes another little note as like a hasty PS, and hands it over.
For expediency purposes.
It entitles the bearer to a round trip to Freedom's Bluff for a teleport spell. There are like known locations in Sylvana where you can teleport to and from. Not exactly the Witches Society, but in one of the places where like the mages tend to hang out and invent new spells, that sort of place. Like there's definitely one there. With that, he looks up at you and says, "Thank you very much for agreeing to help me out. I'm very sorry, but I have other important matters to contend with. You know, logistics of feeding a city this size. I'm sure you understand."
Sure.
Of course.
Who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
Ivoris. And Ivoris holds out a hand.
He reaches over and shakes it. He looks at Arawn and you.
The name's Arawn. He holds out a hand to shake.
He shakes it. He gives you like a bit of a side eye, like glancing you up and down, taking note of your mechanical hand, the state of your wings. He gives you a nod. There's a little bit of... Actually, take an insight check. I'm not going to tell you what he sees.
Sure. 4.
Difficult to read. He looks over at Greff, and he gives you a look. He almost like instinctively kind of like raises his hand a little bit up to his horn, but then like doesn't do it. And he looks over, he's like, "Have we met?"
Probably not. We Goliaths all look the same. And he puts his hand out and shakes it.
He very tentatively shakes it. He's like, "I feel like we've met before. What's your name?"
Greff doesn't answer. Greff just freezes. Maybe he turns it into like an icy glare, like None of your business. Like, kind of like, are you really asking?
I'm usually pretty good at names. I'm sure it'll come back to me.
I'm sure it will hit you in the head one day.
Okay, I need to give this guy a check.
Damn it! Why do I sabotage myself like this?
I was gonna let it go. He looks at you as you guys like turn to leave. Adamov is like trying to chivvy all of you out quickly before the guy remembers. As you get to the doorway, he's like, I remember you.
No, you don't.
Yes, he does. Greff stops 100% and turns around.
You broke my horn.
I left an impression.
Yes, you did. How about we start again? Just get my stone back, and I'll forget all about it. Greff.
Bum, bum, bum.
No need to forget. And Greff turns around and walks out.
For those of you who can still see Ennis, his face is a little bit like, huh? Like, we'd burn.
I'm saying fuck you. I don't care if you know my name or not. I'll kick your ass again. I'll break your other dumbass horn. I'll shove it where the sun don't shine.
Greff, darling.
Fight me!
Greff, stop. Greff, no, darling. Please. Please, darling. This is not the time or the place. He's about to pay you, and it gives me a chance to pry into his affairs.
I want to fight him. I want to fight him again.
No.
Yes, I do.
I know you want to fight him.
He deserves it. He's a little shit. He's worse than a scent.
Look, you get the stone, and you bring back this ritualist wizard gnome person, and it'll give me a chance to investigate him when he's in a better mood. Please. Try not to cause too much of a ruckus, Greff.
Fine. Whatever. We get to fight somebody. Get to fight the fucking Goliath.
All right. With a backward glance, Adnalov kind of like looks at the building, and she looks over in the direction out towards the east. She's like, I can probably use the fact he's spoken to me. I'll probably do a little investigation of his house right now. Okay, chaps, you're going to be on your own. I haven't got any contacts in Freedom's Bluff. You'll be as it is. Just give them my name if worst comes to worst, but I won't be able to help you immediately. So, try not to fuck things up too much. Keep your ear to the ground. She taps the where Arawn, you know, she put the sending message paper. Good luck. Don't die. She heads off in the direction which she indicated. Are you guys going straight to Freedom's Bluff? Are you picking up anything? Are you chatting with anyone? Or are you just poof, poof, and off?
Greff's gonna go like, can you guys give me like an hour? I need to run to the leaky bucket, just make sure everything's on fire, like not on fire. And then I'll be right back.
We also need to have a bit of a discussion before we leave.
Oh. Okay. Do you want to do it at the leaky bucket?
No.
Offended, but understandable.
Arawn just does one of those slight head shakes, like, okay.
I was going to go back to Baskin's place to check and see if he got back. We could have it there.
Sure. Let's go then.
Okay. What are you doing in the leaky bucket?
I'm not going to the leaky bucket. I'm going to the clubhouse.
Oh my god. Okay, let's do the clubhouse.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry, guys.
You son of a bitch.
It's a simple one.
Thanks. You arrive at the clubhouse. Does it take you too long to find it? You know where it is. This place is notorious for drinking and gambling. A lot of like off-duty initiative guys hang out here. The card games are generally quite friendly. It's not unknown to rack up a debt here, but it's not like very common. As you arrive, there is a very tall, well-built Goliath male standing there, covered in various markings, carrying a really big club. In I believe it's giant Goliath speak, right?
Yeah, that's our language.
Yeah. In Giants, they say, "What's your business here?"
Gambling like good people do. And a friendly chat with the owner.
You'll find... I can use another patron name. Yes!
You're welcome.
You'll find Mr. Moshik at the top floor.
Mr. Moshik.
Yes.
Interesting name.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. And Greff just starts walking past them and into the door.
Okay. You make your way in. There are plenty of patrons here. They're playing a variety of like card games, dice games. There's a lot of drink going on. At this level, it's mostly just recreational gambling, just like really small amounts. You could come in here and have a drink, that kind of like low level. You'll make your way up towards the top floor. There are a couple of guards here. And they see you approach. There is a turtle it's two turtles. There are two turtles standing here. And as you approach, one of them says, "Hello, sir. What can I do for you?"
Good day. I would like to have a conversation with Mr. Moshik.
Mr. Moshik is busy right now.
No problem. I have about an hour that I have to get going. It would be in his best interest to have this conversation with me sooner than later, financially wise. I'll go gamble. You guys get me when he's ready. And Greff just
excuse me. So I was like, we need a little bit more information than that. Your name, the size of the debt that you owe. Mr. Moshik will not open the door for just anybody.
Greff kind of leans in. Turtles are tall, so they're probably kind of eye level with him. No, turtle sector is small.
They're small. You'd lean down, yeah.
Yeah. That's between me and Moshik. Just tell him it's financially benefit for him to have this conversation. I'll be straight and honest with him and quick to the point. I've got no time to waste.
Name?
Greff. Greff Peacebleeder.
Greff Peacebleeder. I will talk to Mr. Moshik. And you see them turn around and knock the door and go inside. An hour and a half comes by.
Jesus.
There has been no call for you. You are unfortunately not important enough for him to care about.
Guys, go back to the turtle. I guess I didn't leave an impression.
No. Mr. Moshik has not heard of you. Mr. Moshik does not care.
It's concerning Erkin Warhide.
I will go speak to him.
Greff does not move from the spot this time.
He knocks, he goes in. There's a conversation. There's a begrudging allowance of you inside. This place is minted. There is like carpets on the floor, and tapestries on the walls, that kind of thing. Everything here is beautifully made. The view of the city from here is incredible. Absolutely beautiful. You can see that outside the window there's also like the beginnings of what would have been like an airship port, but it's only half built. Like it was abandoned long ago, but they were obviously trying at some point to be something different and it didn't work. Before you sits a tabaxi, they have like that tortoiseshell colouring to them, and it's real pretty. He's wearing what would be equivalent of a suit, and he's sitting at a big desk, and he just gestures for you to sit opposite.
Good day, Mr. Moshik. I'm sorry to have to barge in like this, but I have a problem, and I do believe you kind of share a similar problem.
sits back in his chair and he stipples his fingers and he's still looking at you.
Many of my coworkers come here regularly, and they've seen a man by the name of Erkin Warhide lose what would amount to a ridiculous amount of money. Is my information correct? If it is not, I can leave right now.
Yes.
Well, it just so happens that Erkin Warhide is causing me a lot of problems.
He raises an eyebrow. This affects me. How?
Do you believe you will ever be able to recover the debt that Mr. Erkin has acquired?
His debt is a matter between myself and Mr. Varheit. Mr. Varheit.
Of course. And if you believe that you will be able to collect the amount that you are owed, then we have no more business. But if you were to, sell me his debt, that might be very beneficial to me and to yourself.
He leans forward at this and puts his elbows on his desk. He says, "You are willing to pay his debt. Why?"
Because he's a man who... You know his profession, right?
Of course, as I know yours, Greff Peace Bleeder.
He's sticking his nose in places where it doesn't belong. He's barking up the wrong tree. He's doing just god-awful works, and he needs to back off some places and focus on another. Now, I have no way of making him do that, but you do.
Indeed, but why would I wish to interfere in such a thing? So far, I'm only hearing things about you and your problems. He will pay his debt to me, one way or another.
I think blood on your floor pays very little.
You do not understand the nature of my debt recovery. And he smiles quite darkly.
Either way, I believe he's a dumb man and he will amass the same debt again, and then you can collect on it again. Twice the money, same sucker.
His debt is currently 600 gold. I would be willing to sell it to you for 8.
Now, why would I pay more than he owes?
Because you are the one with the problem. Shakes his head. Not me.
Fine. 800 gold would take a little while to amass, but easily doable.
He nods. Then I believe we have a deal, Greff Peace Bleeder.
Now, there's one caveat to this.
Sure.
You need to be the one who tells him to back off. It can't be me. You need to tell him that you have friends and they have asked you to do this, and you are repaying them a debt by absolving him of his and doing what I asked.
So you purchase his debt. That is all fine. Now you wish for me to also intimidate him.
No. Simply deliver the message. And if I come back and tell you that he has not done as I asked, feel free to collect those 600 gold he still owes you. I will not expect a repayment. And Greff kind of smiles like yeah, fucking kill him. I don't care.
I need you to take an insight check.
All right. 11.
He places out a hand to you and says, 800, and I will deliver a message.
And absolve his debt.
Of course.
Greff reaches out.
Okay. Deal has been struck.
You all have so much fucking money. Guys, invest your money in Arawn. Fuck.
Invest your money in Arawn Prime. Like, you can get a subscription for that shit.
Yeah.
All right, I need to update the notes on Mr. Mashik. Quickly tell me how you're delivering 800 gold.
I am not currently. I do not have 800 gold between my fingers. This is a problem for me once we finish this mission.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Nay, bother.
I assume you tell him what he needs to back off from.
Yeah.
It's a very vague message otherwise.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, okay.
I inform him what I'm asking him of.
Okay, excellent. Okay, you guys meet up at Baskin's place. No more Mr. Rice Guy. What are you doing?
Oh, we go into the back room.
Greff joined you about 2 hours later-ish, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. We go back into the same spot that we talked last time.
Yeah, the very nice lady, like, she remembers you, like she was about to go off shift, but then she remembers you, like the last that the other two met before, and she just like hurries you straight upstairs, and then she goes off her shift. You guys have the room.
Do you guys want to have a conversation before Greff arrives?
Yeah. Actually.
Okay.
Just interrupt when you feel ready.
Where are we?
You're back in the same room that you were before, the one that has like the slight beach view, the one that's upstairs away from everyone else.
Okay.
The one that's a bit more like a friend's living room sort of thing. I will leave you guys to chat and do whatever you need to do, and then Greff, you can interrupt whenever you think would be the funniest or most interesting. Go for it.
So once we're in the room, Arawn just like closes the door and sits down and just kind of looks at Ivoris and says, I need to ask a favor.
Sure. What is it?
With this investigation and everything,
Right.
I really want to make sure that we find out if Indrak is alive or not. And I need help making sure that we do find out. Because I don't think I can do that part on my own. I'm not as persuasive.
Sure. You just want to figure out if he's alive.
I'd like to see him again. I owe him a lot. If he is dead, then I would like to know who, so that I can repay the favor.
Oh. Okay, sure. Yeah.
Arawn reaches into his bag and pulls out the reed pipes again. You remember I told you this was for somebody? And that I would let you borrow it?
Right.
This is supposed to be for him. It was one of the first things I made after, taking care of myself first.
Right. You owe him a favor for something he's done for you?
Arawn looks kind of uncomfortable. Like he kind of like, I can't say he like ruffles his wings because he doesn't have like feathered wings, but like they kind of do like that twitchy motion.
Right.
He saved my life.
Oh.
So I owe him. And I don't like owing people.
Sure. Yeah. I'll help out. Why not?
I appreciate it. Just, don't mention it to anybody. This is very close to home for me.
Sure. Don't have a lot of people I talk to anyway, you know.
You and me both. Hell, I think I end up talking to the shit I make more often than I do people. So far, none of them have responded, but I'm sure one day I'll figure that part out too.
I would say the same if the fucking snakes ever shut up.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, well, I said had
Oh.
fucked up the stage. Like, come on, dude. All right.
Greff, you really need to associate yourself with better people, honestly.
I'll tell you what, a set is useful for some things.
Sure, if you like having your arm twisted several different directions.
I love the set.
He's a fine boy. He's just, he's him. He's just doing his thing.
If you want, I could probably make you something that might make it a bit easier. Just, there are ways of getting information out of people without extortion on your end.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Conversation.
Yes. We were gonna have a conversation.
Right.
Greff grabs himself a chair and like swivels around and like sits down.
Before we leave, I feel like we should leave something at the mausoleum.
Right.
I don't think it would be a good idea to depart without leaving some sort of response.
Right. Just a note, I guess, right?
I suppose so. It's more a question of what we put in the note then. We can't be obvious about it because if somebody else were to stumble upon it, it could be very incriminating.
Well, we could just phrase it like a note to a loved one. We hold no ill will towards you. You leaving was maybe the best for everybody at the moment, but I hope together we will find each other again. Like, I hope we will find each other again.
I feel like that might be a bit harder to translate.
She's not dumb. She tricked me bad.
I'm not going to comment on that one.
Good choice.
Wasn't she going to Freedom's Bluff?
She was. Yeah, she is.
I think the best option would be if we wait at least a day, make sure that we put the note today, see tomorrow if there is some sort of response, and in either case, no matter what, then we go. But I think there are too many things lining up in Freedom's Bluff for this to be coincidence.
No, I've got business there too, actually. I meant to tell you, as I said, I would tell you of the visions that I have where you are involved. I focused on that tabaxi that I was looking for. And had a vision where we had found her in Freedom's Bluff.
Oh,
So I might be able to find her there.
that's good.
Maybe. Not really comfortable with it, but
Hey, something has to happen. You know you need to meet her, whether she wants to meet you or not is...
no, I know she doesn't. I've met her before. She hates me.
We're talking about the tabaxi lady we got off the boat, right?
No.
What?
Oh. Ah.
No, the one that
Oh, shit.
that one? Yeah, that one.
There are too many tabaxis in our stories.
Fuck you.
This is what happens when there's no dwarves and elves. Fuck these idiots. and their
Dwarves,
stupid
elves, and
monster.
humans are so easy for me.
Okay.
So much better. Elves are so much cooler.
No, I don't know anything about that one. I don't know much more than you guys know about that one.
Hey,
Kind of forgot all about it.
if you can track her down and kick her ass for being an idiot, then I'm game.
Well, like you said, we'll at least need to have a chat.
Hey, you always get to open up with words if you want to.
Right, well, should be words. I do need something from her, so...
So, since everybody's thinking of things, I might need to ask for something. If we happen to get the gnome alive, can I ask for a little favor from you guys and ask if I can get the full payment to myself?
Sure.
I will repay it in future payments, and if I'm dead before then, you can strip anything you want off my body and take it.
No, I should be all right. Yeah, I'm all right for that.
Yes, Arawn?
You... You understand what you're asking me, right?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I'm asking you for a favor. Greff looks straight into your fucking eyes, leans in and says, I gave you 300 of my gold the other day, which is the only reason why I can't take care of this myself.
Are you in trouble?
No trouble. Just, things are moving. It's concerning just... I would like to do it today, but that's impossible. So I'll do it when I get back. And once the whole mess is resolved, I'll explain it. And I'll explain all of it. No problem.
Sure. If it's urgent, how much do you need?
Like 800, but I can pull in some like extra cash from here and there in my life.
You need 800.
Yes.
Arawn coughs. He was probably in the middle of taking a drink of something and just does that like that spit take.
It's so adorable. The face you pulled right there was just like, hey,
Like I said, I'll repay you guys with my share of future jobs.
Greff,
If
that's so
it's
much money.
urgent, I can lend you that now.
What?
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 Yeah, Ivoris pulls out 800 gold.
What?
Yeah, I've got almost 1,000 left after that.
What?
Well, I'm not going to leave it in my house with the investigation going on, am I?
That's a goddamn good point, isn't it?
My God, you're carrying 1,000 going around.
All right, that's... Hey, if I can get the ball moving sooner, then I'm happy with it. Let me think. I need to... I had a series of things I was going to say, but you've kind of thrown them off now?
Oh, well, if you need to borrow anything,
If you lend me this money, you're taking my full share of this job and like future jobs until I pay back. I will live in the leaky bucket. I will live off the leaky bucket until then.
I'm not in a hurry at the moment, Greff, but thank you.
Okay. How much actually do you need to borrow from him? Is it the full 800 or?
If I don't have, if he's willing to loan me the full 800, then I'd rather do that.
Yeah, he just is handing you 800. That leaves him with 999 gold.
Fuck me. Forgotten how fucking rich you were. Okay.
Arawn is looking at the bag of money with like wide puppy dog eyes, like.
That is like all of his money, though.
Half of his money. It's not even half of his money. That's disgusting.
I never spent it on anything except for sushi.
Oh my God.
That's where.
What else did he do? Honestly,
He
sat around rent free, did nothing, collected a bunch of paychecks, and threw it in the sock drawer.
Motherfucker.
Now that the cops are in there, he's not going to leave it in there. Of course, he has it on him.
Yeah, fair enough.
You can pull it off of my corpse.
In that case, knock the 800.
I'm a Yahtzee.
knock the 800 off of your thing then. We would say that you deliver the 800 gold to Moshik.
Yeah.
What are you guys writing in the note? Are you going for the not quite Dear John letter? Are you just going for something a bit more cryptic, or
TTYL? LOL, winky face.
No, you can't fill this parchment with emojis, Neil. No. You can't have like cat emoji waving.
What was the other symbol? Flowers? What if we drew flowers on a note? Would that confuse?
That would confuse the shit out of her.
Mixed message.
Greff, you know that your previous approach of like a not quite love letter would probably work. The clues are in there enough, and as you said, she's not actually a dumb person, and her intellect is not low. It would work if you want to leave something like that.
Like out of character, I thought that was actually like very solid as a fake farewell letter, but also containing all the information. Like, we're not angry. We hope to see you again.
It'll do the job. One of you can drop off the appropriate kind of note then.
Don't make Greff write it.
Written in like block letters and crayon. Okay, note is left. There is money paid off. Is there anything else you guys want to do before you take your teleport to Freedom's Bluff and the rest of my notes?
Greff says before he takes the 800, if when this whole thing with the money is done, I've got something to tell both of you. I just need to make sure that works. And once that's through, I've got something. Don't worry about it though. It's nothing bad. Just something that needs to be talked about.
Sure.
And Greff runs away with 800 gold.
Before anybody insights him. Exit stage left before the insight roll. Okay, you guys do this. If there is nothing else, then we'll take you to the teleport. Okay. Oh, that's perfect timing. This is super good. You guys make your way towards the rundown temple building. It's where a bunch of magic users hang out practicing the variety of new spells. Some of them are just like, hey, look at this. I could do ice instead of fire, and think that they are the bomb, when in fact they are just someone who's learned ice bolt instead. This kind of thing is happening around here. There are some pretty powerful mages and wizards and the such like here. You hand over the writs. The person who was going to try and fleece you for money doesn't, and sends you on your merry way. As you guys feel like this kind of like tug behind like your navel and like in your chest, as you basically just feel yourself being like pulled through, everything suddenly like turns this bizarre kind of like sepia color for just like the briefest of moments. You see like the surroundings around you just like blitz forwards, just very, very fast and like streaks of light. And then you pop out the other side onto another teleport room. The sepia color is gone and the world is back to how it is. It's pretty dark at this point because I think you guys have spent a good portion of the day doing all the random things you have done. You find yourself in a building. The side of it is a stone building. The rune on the ground is pretty old. The building itself is also pretty old. It looks again like an old temple, and one side of this building is open to the elements. And as you look out, you can see that there is a sea. You're at the very top of the bluff, very top of the cliff itself. And you can see the sea out before you. You can see all the little boats off in the very far distance. As you look around, there are a couple of people here, but they're kind of like making their way away from where you are. Either they've just arrived themselves or it's the end of the day or something. You can hear that there are bells ringing off in the distance. They don't seem like warning bells or anything like that, just like the kind of like ding, ding, ding. It's like X amount of time in the evening or something. And as you guys leave this kind of like teleport place, this ruin itself, you can see the village, you can see the town, like spread out beneath you. There are lots of huts here. There are lots of crudely made huts. The the building quality is not like it is in Sylvana, where everything is like beautifully made or very ancient, well maintained. This is not. It's like someone's stuck a couple of bricks together with a bit of mortar and shoved something wooden on top as a roof. It's very much like a shanty town. There are a couple of very big buildings here. There is a big cathedral type building which has a bell tower in it. There is a stone building off to the left hand side, a little collection of them, which you would assume to be some sort of temple district area, but the rest of it is just a sea of houses. At the very in front of you, as you look and you like with your eye follow this pathway down, you can see quite far off along this pathway, you can see that there is what looks like a clearing and a well in the center of it. This you would assume to be kind of like the marketplace, and this is where you guys arrive. What do you want to do?
I want Greff to have a moment where he's looking over the town, like Freedom Bluff. Wait, shit, there's a sword fighting school here. I want to check that out.
What?
There's a sword fighting school here. And Greff grabs a book out of his bag. My book sent me. The book told me. Come on, guys. If we have some free time, we need to check out the sword fighting school.
Greff, you...
I did hear that we don't have a time frame on this.
Greff, you can read?
No place can truly be prepared, but get ready. Freedom's Bluff, Kino Initiative Task Force 10 is in town. I want to thank all of you who are currently interacting with us on Discord. It's super fun to chat with you guys and see what you guys come up with. But I want to encourage everybody who can to join us over on Patreon, where even $1 a month would make a world of difference. Other than that, I've been told to read off a list of names. I have been provided with a lot of pictures to help me. I want to thank Undead Ban for the names Brightstar and Karsus. I want to thank Thirsty for giving us Kania Bistdottir, correctly pronounced there. And then I want to thank Biso or Bezo for the name Moshik. Moshik's going to betray me, isn't he? I fucked that negotiation up real bad.